Well, you talk about falling from grace, so we should talk about Sarah Ferguson. She's going to have to find her own home after she and Andrew were told to leave the Royal Lodge. Where does she sit in all of this, and what's her future look like?
Imagine waking up every morning in a house that once symbolized protection, privilege, and royal security, but now feels like a ticking clock counting down to your eviction. Imagine spending decades standing beside a man whose scandals have consumed global headlines, only to realize you might now lose everything because of him. And imagine being Sarah Ferguson, a woman who has survived humiliation, scandal, public mockery, and royal exile, now described by insiders as massively on edge, panicking, and terrified about what comes next. Her life, once chaotic but stable, now lies on the edge of a cliff, and for the first time in decades, she may have no one left to catch her if she falls. Before we dive in, there's something I need to share with you. Over the past few days, thousands have watched these stories unfold, but most haven't subscribed. If you're one of them, I invite you now to join us. Subscribe to Crownverse so you never miss the next chapter in this unfolding royal history. For Sarah Ferguson, life has never been calm, but never, not even in her wildest years, has she faced a storm like this. She is living inside the Royal Lodge, a sprawling estate in Windsor, but the walls around her no longer feel safe. The property, once a symbol of comfort and belonging, is now the center of a royal showdown. Prince Andrew, her ex-husband and longtime companion in everything but name, has been formally evicted. Yet he has refused to leave, creating one of the most tense standoffs in modern royal history. And Sarah, caught in the middle, feels the consequences closing in on her like tightening ropes. Verified reports confirm that Andrew has been removed from his royal roles, stripped of his HRH styling, and pushed out of public life entirely. What remains is a man whose future is uncertain, whose finances are unstable, and whose scandals continue to echo long after the headlines fade. For decades, Sarah has defended him. She stood by him during public humiliation. She lived with him long after their divorce. She kept him company in a house that many consider a crumbling remnant of a forgotten era. But now, insiders say she is beginning to reach her breaking point. According to royal commentators, a claim that remains unverified, Sarah has reportedly told close confidants that she no longer believes in Andrew and is preparing to separate her future from his. If true, this would represent one of the biggest emotional shifts in her life. The woman who once said she and Andrew were the happiest divorced couple in the world may finally be pulling away. But pulling away isn't simple. Their lives have been intertwined for more than 30 years. They shared daughters, memories, heartbreak, and a home. Separating their futures requires courage, logistics, and the painful acceptance that loyalty has its limits. Meanwhile, the pressure on Sarah is intensifying from every direction. Royal insiders describe her as leaning on trusted staff members because she feels too overwhelmed to navigate the uncertainty alone. Her nerves, they say, are frayed. She fears being further humiliated. She worries constantly about how Andrew's ongoing scandals could affect her daughter's standing. And this fear is not exaggerated. Even if Beatrice and Eugenie remain innocent, their father's controversies create a shadow that no royal name can entirely outrun. For Sarah, this is the part that hurts the most. She raised her daughters largely away from the chaos that surrounded her own life. She built them up as confident, capable women. She supported their careers, marriages, and children. She has always said that being their mother is her greatest achievement. So to think that the world might judge them because of Andrew's actions is a nightmare she cannot bear. Some commentators have suggested, again, a claim that remains unverified, that Beatrice and Eugenie are distancing themselves more from Sarah and Andrew to protect their own growing families and public roles. Whether this distance is emotional, practical, or simply the result of busy lives, no one can know for sure. But what is clear is that the sisters are being careful. They attend fewer events with their parents. They speak publicly about positive projects, never scandals. They are cautious, protective, strategic. And Sarah sees this. She knows the world her daughters must navigate is different from the one she faced in the 1990s. And she fears that Andrew's future may drag them into a storm they never asked for. Inside Royal Lodge, tension has become part of daily life. Andrew is still living there, despite eviction orders and ongoing pressure to relocate to a smaller residence in Sandringham. Sarah, according to insiders, in claims that remain unverified, is staying in a different wing of the house. They apparently only meet to discuss their futures and what to do next. Their relationship, once defined by mutual loyalty and shared quirks, is now strained by fear, exhaustion, and uncertainty. Sarah herself is facing critical decisions. Does she stay in the UK, where the British press watches her every move? Does she move abroad, where she can reinvent herself away from the British spotlight? Rumors, unverified, suggest she is considering moving to Portugal to be closer to Princess Eugenie. Other reports claim she may even relocate to Beverly Hills, a place she has always enjoyed and where she could escape public scrutiny. Either choice would represent a dramatic shift for a woman who has remained near Andrew for almost her entire adult life. But the deeper issue is not just geography, it is identity. If Sarah leaves Royal Lodge, she must rebuild her life from scratch. She must create a new future without the man she defended for decades. And that prospect, according to those close to her, is terrifying. She has lived so long orbiting Andrew's world, sometimes through love, sometimes through convenience, sometimes through necessity, that imagining life away from him is almost unimaginable. Yet the pressure continues to grow. Every time new allegations against Andrew resurface, Sarah feels the impact personally. Each headline carries emotional weight. Each rumor affects her daughters. Each public humiliation chips away at the fragile stability she has fought to maintain. And while she has always appeared resilient, even defiant, she is only human. At some point, even the strongest walls begin to crack. What makes this moment uniquely painful is that Sarah has always valued loyalty above everything else. She remained loyal when the palace distanced itself from her. She remained loyal when the tabloids mocked her. She remained loyal even when Andrew's scandals began destroying his own future. Some saw her loyalty as foolish. Some saw it as admirable. But to Sarah, loyalty was a form of love, not romantic love, but a deep, unbreakable bond forged through experience, suffering, and survival. Now, for the first time, she may be questioning whether that loyalty has cost her too much. She may be realizing that she must choose herself, her dignity, and her daughters above the man she once married. And that realization is difficult, heartbreaking, and deeply unsettling. Meanwhile, the royal landscape around her is evolving. The king is reducing the size of the monarchy. The working royals are fewer. The spotlight is harsher. There is little room for scandal, chaos, or unpredictable figures. Andrew's presence has become a liability the palace does not want to manage. And Sarah, by association, falls into the same shadow. She is not officially a working royal, but she is deeply connected to one of the most controversial figures in royal history. That connection complicates everything.
Inside the palace, decisions are being made. The future of Royal Lodge, the finances, the living arrangements, the reputation management, all of it is shifting. And Sarah, no longer protected by her former mother-in-law, Queen Elizabeth, feels exposed. She feels the instability, she feels the silence, she feels the loss of the royal safety net that once gave her confidence. And now, she must navigate the storm without it. This fear is real, it is intense, and it is growing.